Hi, it's Linda Winter. I want to talk about the Pillowcase Armhole Template. You probably know about the pillowcase dresses, the little pillowcase dresses that you can make out of pillowcases or just out of fabric. There's a project that Nancy Zeman has started, or maybe didn't start, but that she's really promoted, little pillowcase dresses for Africa. And you'll see they've got great directions there. But I want to show you how to make it accurate, consistent, fast, easy. So the templates come in 4 sizes. There's a small, a medium, a large, and an extra large. Now these are great for little girls, and they can even be great for adults. So if you want to do a little top, you can use that extra large as the armhole. What I want is when we make a dress is this side and this side, the front and back of the left and the right, to be exactly the same. And what that template does is it makes it consistent, accurate, fast, easy. So let's take a look at a couple of the dresses first, and then I'll show you how to make a dress. There are several different ways to make it, but I'll show you a couple different options. So Halloween, this is basically a real simple project that you can do really, really fast, and then you can dress it up with a hat, you know, one of the witches' hats and those great striped stockings and all those things. So basically it's just a pillowcase dress with a nice kind of a jagged edge here. Another Halloween project here. You can see this, and actually I'm going to pull the other one up because I want to show you how to finish off. We'll talk about these techniques now, and then later on I'll show you kind of my method that I recommend. This has a casing in here. You can see the casing, and then this is just fabric that's basically a tie, and you just do your casing. What I would recommend is when you do something like this and you make it to fit a little girl, go ahead and stitch here and stitch here where it fits, so this doesn't go like that. That way it's not slipping on and off the little girl. So it's nice that the ties are adjustable so that it can be adjusted for age too. But that's just a simple casing. The armholes, you can see here, this has just been turned under. Some people use a binding, and I'll show you that on one of the projects in just a minute, but that's one way to finish off the top. Here's one that does have a binding edge here. This has the binding all the way around, and that binding turns into the tie. So it's finished off at the top the same way. This has, actually no it's not, this has elastic. And now that I can feel it, I need my glasses on, but this has a casing, but there's a piece of elastic in here. And you can see this one basically is set, so it doesn't get wider or smaller. Basically it's already that piece of elastic. So elastic stitched here and elastic stitched here, and then using the binding here, and that binding as the tie. You can do any kind of embellishment you want on here. This was fabric that I got after one of the Halloween sales when the fabric goes to 70% off, which is a great time to buy for the following year. Here's another dress. This dress has a lining, so it can be reversible if you want to do that. And the armholes here, when you use a lining, basically you're just doing the front to the inside, and you're top stitching when you finish. After you turn that, you can do a top stitch if you want to. And again, a casing up at the top. When you do the casing, I'm going to untie this. And this tie is a gross grain ribbon. And when we look at this, you can see that lining now. And again, it's just a casing. And if we look at the arms, again, we're sewing the outside to the inside, and then we turn right sides out. And again, if you want to do a top stitch, you're welcome to do that. You don't need to. But this is a really cute outfit to do out of nice coordinating fabrics. And I added one of the flowers. The flowers, again, that's my burned fabric flowers, the chiffon fabric flowers, that you'll see a video on how to do that. So there's another dress. Let me grab another dress. This is a basic nightgown, simple dress that you can do. This is a longer dress. And again, this has a binding used, and it's the same as the last one with the elastic here. You can kind of fancy this up if you want to. You can use ribbons. You can use ribbons for here, totally up to you. You can add ribbons, you can add trims. There's all kinds of things that you can do, but you can whip these out really, really fast. The great thing about the Pillowcase Dress project is when you make these, you can make them really, really fast and give them as gifts, or you can donate them to the project that I mentioned earlier. If you're going to make it as a gift, then take a little bit of time to add a nice little kind of a doodad. This has those nice ribbon flowers that are here, and this one came in the same way that this does. This is by yardage, and just cut one out and stitch it on top. Here's a ribbon that you tie. Instead of it being tied on the left side and on the right side, this has just been looped through, and again, this is a casing, and then you tie it here. So this is adjustable for the little girl that you're putting this on, and again, for the armholes, This, instead of using bias binding, this has just been stitched under and then stitched under again. So you have a top stitching there. And the length is based on whether it's going to be a dress or whether it's a top or whether it's going to be like a nightgown. You'd want it longer for a nightgown. Let me pull over another one. This is a Halloween outfit. Again, I like Halloween, so I like doing Halloween things. This is done with a casing at the bottom, and it has a piece of elastic. You can stuff this if you want to so that she'll look like a little pumpkin. Totally up to you, but having the elastic there gives it that pumpkin look. The pumpkin eyes and the mouth and the nose are just appliqued on top. And this one, again, has, when you see, this is adjustable. So this being adjustable with just a ribbon or a tie or whatever it is that you want to make there. And this has the binding for the armholes, you can see there. So add a little hat for the pumpkin hat with a little green stem, and then they can be going as a pumpkin for Halloween. All right, one of my favorite things to do is to buy tea towels. This is a tea towel. I'm going to pull over a towel here, and we're basically going to use one towel for the front and another towel for the back. Now, these are expensive when you buy these, I think, for a little girl's dress that's going to get dirty. So wait for these to go on sale, and they'll go down to 50%, 70%, 90% off. But basically, we would use these front and back. And I'll show you how we'll put this together in a minute. But this is a tea towel. And this has got the little spiders here. It came with this on the front, and same thing on the back side. You don't have to use the matching towel on the back, but I like that we've got spiders coming and going. What I used here was the by the yard or by the roll. And Dylan, I don't know if you can grab, see over there the red roll. Can you grab that? I thought I had everything together, but I didn't. So these guys here, these are sold at all the craft stores. This one you can see is a little bit different. This has the spots in there, but these are really cheap. Can you zoom in on that price? I can't read it. What's it say?
It is 97 cents.
So 97 cents. They sell them at $1 a yard, or $1 a roll at a lot of places. So 97 cents on sale. So anyway, that makes it really cute too. This might be itchy to a little girl, so if they've got sensitive skin, then this may not be the way to go. But you can use ribbon, you know, something like this in place of this. But the idea is this goes through. This again has been turned under. This has a casing here. And then because this is so wide, this really holds in place. If you do a thinner ribbon, then this stuff starts to stretch out on its own. But if you're going to do something thicker like this, then it really does hold in place where you want it to be. And again, this one is tied just on one shoulder, and this is fed through. So there's a bunch of different ways to finish these off. All right, so I want to show you one other set of tea towels, and then we're going to make one, or at least pretend to make one. Here's another set of tea towels that I got, and this one is wider. So if you've got a little girl that's bigger, older than the previous, you can see the difference in size. Let's grab here. Look at the difference here. Okay, much larger girl. This could even be for an adult. So you can see how big that is. And I think that would be really pretty cute to wear in the summertime or the springtime. So the tea towels. Whether it's tea towels, whether it's a pillowcase, whether it's fabric or polar fleece, you've got a bunch of different options. So pillowcase, basically this would already be sewn here, this would be sewn, this would be sewn, and this would be the opening to the pillow. So everything that we do for a pillowcase is going to be the basic same process as what I'm showing you right here. I've taken two pieces of fabric. I've got front sides here, back side, or front and front. So we want to have right sides together. And what we'll do with this is we're going to stitch along the sides first. We'll fool with the arms next. So what we want to do is take this to the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch along here. You can do 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 5/8, whatever you're comfortable with, and stitch along here. So we'd stitch along those, and then you can finish this off first and then do the arms, or you can do the arms. My directions will tell you one way. It's really totally up to you, and it's also up to the age of the girl. If it's an adult, then I would finish this off first and then do the arms. That'll give you a deeper armhole. So we would stitch along here. The goal is left side, right side to be exactly the same. So this would be stitched here. So what we're going to do is we want to cut this part out. So I'm going to grab my medium, and when I place this along here, you can see how that fabric grabs with this. So when I go to cut, what I want to do is have this lined up to the edge and line that up to the top and pretend that I have that all lined up and that this is sewn. And then when we go to cut, we're going to cut turning the template as I go. And what that allows me to do is get the front and back, the left and right exactly the same. And then at this point, we would now deal with the top. You decide if you're going to do a casing here, if you're going to do a casing here. Are we going to fold this over and then fold this over again? Are we going to do the elastic? Are we going to do a ribbon? So totally up to you. And again, you can see the difference in the armhole here. If we finished this first and then we did the cutting, this gives you a bigger armhole. Let's bring this, I'm going to do it on the other side. We're going to do it here. Imagine I've done the casing here. Fold this over, fold this over. We've done the same thing here. When we go to cut, now what that's going to give us is a deeper cut, a deeper, and I've got to fold it this way. There's a right way and a wrong way for doing the template. When we look at this, you can see here, this is going to give me a much deeper armhole, basically. So this will fit somebody that's a little bit bigger. So it's really up to you and the size of the little girl or if it's an adult. So when we do that, that allows you to then make that casing. The casing can have the elastic, it can have ribbon, it again can have the tulle. You can buy ribbon like this. Totally up to you as to how you want to finish that. One of the ones that I want to do for some of the little girls that I know for the winter is a different approach out of polar fleece. So you can do the 2 pieces of fabric and do a seam here and do a seam here. Or you can do as I've done here. Basically, I've taken one big piece of fabric and stitched along here. And then what we want to do is put that in the center. When I've got that in the center, now this is the back of the dress. That becomes the back of the dress, and we do want to make sure it really is in the center, because when we fold this in half, I can't cut through all this fabric, but when we fold this in half, the left side and the right side should be the same. And you can see I don't have it folded correctly because I've got more fabric here. So I'm going to scoot this over a little bit. And the length of the dress, by the way, is totally up to you. It's how long you want that dress to be. Start out longer, and you can always shorten. You can always make it a little bit longer. If you made it too short, you can add lace, rickrack, all of those kinds of things. And then again, you can see here, I keep finagling with this till I get this right in the center. So we're going to pretend that I've done that. And then what we're going to do with the template, and I'm going to get the extra large here. When we place this on, we're going to do one side at a time. I can't cut through 4 layers of this polar fleece. Not accurately, not consistently around this part. I can cut here fine with it, but when we get down here, I'd rather you cut through 2 layers. So what that allows you to do is then take that rotary cutter and you'll cut. When you cut that material, because that's get a grip, it grabs and it stays with even material like this polar fleece. And that allows you to do the front and back at the same time. We would then take it over and do this next side over here. So that allows you to make a dress out of polar fleece. I love the idea of this being worn with a turtleneck and a pair of tights. And in the wintertime, they're going to still look cute, but they're going to be nice and cozy and warm, but they've got a nice little, you know, quick and easy dress to do. Again, fabrics at the end of the season are a great time for you to buy so that next year you can have all these dresses ready to go. So if you've got little girls in your life, you can whip these up early so that you can send them out when the season starts to hit for that next year. All right, I have directions on my website. I'll have those posted there. You'll see the links below and lots of information as well. If you have any questions, you've got my way of I've got ways to contact me through email and phone number and all that stuff. Enjoy, and again, send me pictures. I'd love to see what you do. Thanks for watching.